This is Hidden Killers Week in Review.
A look back at the most prolific stories of the week. This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski.
Featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Adam Montgomery found guilty of murder in the death of his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony. After about 6 hours of jury deliberation, prosecutors said that during the 2-week trial that after beating the helpless child, the father shot up opioids outside of a Burger King and then went and got some lunch. It's a very sad, disturbing story that many of us just ripped our hearts apart, especially if you're a parent. Joining me to discuss the verdict, Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI Special Agent. Jennifer, were you surprised at all that this is the verdict that was reached, or the amount of time it took to get to the guilty verdict on Adam Montgomery?
No, I really wasn't surprised. I know some people were worried because after 3 hours, there was not a verdict, but they had a lot to pour through. And unfortunately for those jurors, this is something that really is going to be so difficult for them. They'll carry with this case with them forever, I believe. It was so heart-wrenching, the details that were exposed during that trial. Mm-hmm. So very much expected the verdict, and I'm glad they took the appropriate time. Tony, I'm here live with you, which is unusual for me because I'm wearing my victory red blazer,
yes,
which I always wear when a good verdict comes in.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're wearing that, and hopefully there'll be some more victories to be had. I mean, there's another one we'll talk about shortly with the Petitos, a settlement that happened there, but hopefully some peace. Just lots of things coming down today. Well, we're talking more about the case here against Adam Montgomery. There was a lot of testimony. One of the big pieces of testimony was from Kayla Montgomery, his former wife at the time. A lot of people looking at this going, okay, this really did kind of help sink the ship of Adam Montgomery. Not that it, I guess, needed all that much more sinking, had a lot of holes in to begin with. But did Kayla get off too easy on this? Was this a fair deal that was made to you say this and testify against him, and you get to basically eventually here walk free after being a part of a lot of the ills that took place in that car with Harmony?
Well, I think it was a fair deal only because of this, Tony. I don't think they could have made the case without her. Mm-hmm. I really don't. They needed a eyewitness accounting of what really happened, because if not, there was just too much guesswork. I think they would have gotten other charges that he would have been convicted of. But the second-degree murder, really, they needed her. And because of that, for me, I was okay with her getting away with all she did. Believe me, she doesn't have custody of her children, thank goodness. Mm-hmm. Sadly, I will be surprised if she doesn't sink back into that life. Mm-hmm. And she's going to carry this guilt with her the rest of her life. I thought the guilt on the stand was real.
What about the other people who testified? We had investigators, many different people, even family members of both Adam and Kayla coming to the stand to testify. What else stood out to you during the trial?
Well, what stood out to me again was the complete dropping of the ball by social services. The fact that for 2 years, no one knew this child had disappeared off the face of the earth. So really, when you look at all the people responsible for that, it was a domino effect. And Harmony, with each domino that fell, it just fell straight on her and led to this, horrible murder. So I think that trial really brought home how many people were, in a way, complicit.
Do you think we're going to see any sort of changes? I mean, it's another case where, these things are brought to the forefront of, look, here's the issues that we have with our child welfare system front and center. But are we just going to look at this again going, well, they dropped the ball. They're not well funded. And we just kind of move on to the next case. We keep having these over and over and over, and we have forever. What is it ever going to take to try and get some sort of reform here into that system? So maybe there's not going to be so many Harmonies like this that are falling through the cracks, because God knows there's probably thousands that we don't know the names of.
There are thousands, Tony, and I think it's going to take a couple of things. First of all, it's going to take money. These social service workers need to be paid more. That's just the fact of the matter. Then you're going to get more quality people. They need to not only get more hourly or salary, but they need to be paid overtime. These jobs really require overtime, 24-hour monitoring in some instances, and they're not getting paid enough. So I think until we can give money to social services, which to me, child protection services should have more money than all of these other ridiculous programs that are that are politically fought for. What about our children? So I think that's what it's going to take, Tony.
Hopefully, at some point, a light bulb will be reached where it needs to, and we start funding our future, the kids. And hopefully.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.